Thank you to Dr. Vivili, Deputy Director General of the Pacific Community. Our partnership with the Pacific Community has long been built on our shared commitment to democracy and to sustainability. And I look forward to a closer relationship between our two organizations with the establishment of our new mission, and very much agree with your sentiment that some things are just right. This is just right. I also welcome the many dignitaries who have gathered here from the government of Fiji, as well as from other Pacific Island countries present today. I'm also pleased that ambassadors and high commissioners from partners like Australia, New Zealand, the Republic of Korea, the United Kingdom, and Japan are able to join us here today. That means a lot, as well as representatives from regional Pacific organizations. I'm looking forward to even closer partnerships with you all as USAID opens up this exciting new chapter in our engagement with the Pacific Islands. I want to join the Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs in acknowledging the pain that the people of Maui, Hawaii are experiencing right now. So many families have lost their homes, their businesses, and their loved ones. And this island of peace and beauty, the lush green, surrounded by the pristine blue waters of the Pacific, was so quickly engulfed in smoke and flames, so horrifyingly engulfed. The fires in Maui, of course, for an island here of lush green, surrounded by pristine blue waters, evokes as well a reminder, a stark reminder of the challenges that we are confronting together. As the planet warms, the extreme weather patterns that contributed to the disaster in Maui, strong hurricane winds, flash droughts, parched land, we know that these kinds of events are only going to increase in frequency and in severity, subjecting more communities all over the world, particularly in vulnerable areas like this one, to such disasters. We are going to all have to work together ever more vigorously, relentlessly, to combat this crisis, to protect human life, to build resilience in advance of when these disasters befall communities. Fundamentally, this is about human security. And ultimately as well about stability and economic prosperity. Today, I will have the honor of presenting on behalf of the American people, a Hawaiian koa paddle to Prime Minister Rabuka of Fiji and Secretary General Henry Puna of the Pacific Islands Forum. The inscription is of a Hawaiian proverb, which I will do my best to recreate. Ho'okahi ka ila'u likai ana. That translates to wield the paddles together. Wield the paddles together. Hawaii, of course, shares with many of the Pacific Islands a rich tradition of voyaging, with seafaring communities exploring thousands of kilometers of ocean, guided only by the wind, the sea, and the stars. It was by wielding their paddles together, combining their strengths and pushing forward together as one united force, that they could match the power of the ocean itself and explore and settle islands across the blue Pacific continent. As we mark the beginning of a new era in our partnership, one focused on supporting your efforts to chart that prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable future, these paddles represent the promise of what we can accomplish by combining our strengths. And they symbolize the United States' commitment to a true partnership with the region, one where we listen to, partner with, and ultimately help you deliver for the people of the Pacific Island nations. It is these three goals that USAID plans to accomplish in support of your people in the months and years to come, to listen, to partner, and to deliver, but really to unlock the spirit and the capabilities of the people who inhabit these islands. We're listening to requests from the Pacific Islands, including many of the governments and communities represented here today. We're listening to the request, first and foremost, to be more present in the region. Most of the Pacific Islands portfolio has been based for USAID largely in Manila. And our team there, as I mentioned earlier, has shown immense dedication to serving Pacific communities. But as you can imagine, even in the era of Zoom, being across the ocean limited the mission's ability to meet regularly in person with the region's culturally rich and diverse communities, local leaders, and government representatives. So today I am so pleased to be able to establish USAID's mission in the Pacific Islands, which will be based here in Suva and will cover not just Fiji, but also the Federated States of Micronesia, Kiribati, Marshall Islands, Nauru, Palau, Samoa, Tonga, and Tuvalu. This Pacific Islands mission will allow us to expand our staff presence here in Fiji while retaining our local offices in Marshall Islands, Federated States of Micronesia, and Palau. And it will work with the office I opened yesterday, I believe, the country representative office in Port Moresby, to manage regional programs covering Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, and Vanuatu. Our new mission here will allow us to expand our unique partnerships. That is the second objective as behind listening. To establish these unique partnerships with the countries across the region, partnerships that already have had a meaningful impact. In the past decade, the United States has provided more than $1.5 billion in direct support to the Pacific Islands, more than a third of that in the form of USAID investments. We've helped vaccinate nearly 1 million people across 12 Pacific Islands against COVID-19, while also better equipping more than 600 health facilities serving remote areas in the region and training more than 4,500 health workers. We've provided more than $130 million in humanitarian assistance across the Pacific Islands, including in response to last month's volcanic eruption last year's volcanic eruption and subsequent tsunami waves in Tonga, and the extreme drought that struck Kiribati last year. We also have recently provided support to last month's volcanic activity in Papua New Guinea. We've helped promote good governance across the region, for example, partnering with the Fiji Election Office to help make the country's most recent elections, already historic in their own right, the most accessible, for example, for people with disabilities in history. I'm pleased to announce that USAID will provide an additional $600,000 in technical assistance and training for Fiji's local government officials so that they can implement reforms to boost the fairness, inclusiveness, credibility, and integrity of local elections coming up, the first since 2005, and a very important milestone for this country. Of course, we've also made investments to support what we know is the single greatest priority for Pacific communities, taking on the existential threat of climate change. We've contributed more than $90 million in disaster risk reduction and resilience programming to help the Pacific Islands prepare for increasingly frequent and severe natural disasters. Tomorrow, I'll be touring here a makerspace, a space equipped with tools to produce right there on the spot critical relief supplies using 3D printers and the like. The makerspace is run by Field Ready, which is a nonprofit organization funded by USAID that focuses again on local production of supplies, an especially important initiative in the Pacific Islands where assistance from outside sometimes can't reach really remote communities without boats or airplanes. We've also helped local leaders, and I think this is a really important initiative and it's something we need to do more of, secure themselves more than $550 million to invest in climate adaptation. This is more than 22 times USAID's initial investment of $24 million, and this is about building capacity within ministries to be able to create proposals for bankable projects that large financing bodies, the private sector, the Green Climate Fund, can then make available. That money, that $550 million that has been unlocked, is currently helping protect clean water for more than a quarter of the population of the Marshall Islands. And it is safeguarding the coral reefs and fisheries vital to Vanuatu's economy. Our mission here in Fiji will allow us to build on these efforts and to focus on partnering with Pacific governments, regional organizations, and communities to achieve our final objective, which is to deliver on the priorities set out in the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent, driving inclusive economic growth, promoting fair and transparent governance, protecting the region's incredible biodiversity, and fighting climate change. As we open this new chapter in our partnership, our focus will be on supporting the extraordinary leaders across the Pacific who themselves are driving urgently needed change. And that change is not just for the benefit of their communities, it is for the benefit of the world. We want to learn from you. We want to help connect you with the resources that will allow you to scale the solutions that you are already coming up with at the community level, at the local level, at the national level, to match the immense challenges facing the world today. Already, your leadership is evident in commitments that have been made at a global level. You helped lay the groundwork most recently for a major deal struck at COP27 in Egypt last fall that established new funding arrangements that will assist those developing nations particularly vulnerable to climate change. In his 1993 essay, Our Sea of Islands, Tongan Fijian writer Apeli Hauofa tells a story that some of you may know, a story of a legendary athlete, an expert javelin thrower, who once launched his javelin with such strength that it pierced the sky and disappeared into the heavens. The force of his throw was such that the javelin still flies today, reappearing every now and then to streak across the black of night, just to remind us of his feat and of the Blue Pacific's power to leave its mark on the world. As so many Pacific leaders leave their mark on the world, we again hope to learn from you, your drive, your tenacity, your resilience, your vision for change. You urge the world every day to come together in the face of crisis and work in tandem toward a more vibrant, more just, and more sustainable future. We are committed to following your lead. Thank you so much.